Moments ago, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau publicly apologizing for a series of racist photos and a video showing him wearing dark face makeup. That video shows Trudeau in the early 90s. It was obtained by CNN partner Global News.
With the situation happening with Justin Trudeau with the blackfaces, that's things have been popping up.
I think it's insulting. I think it's offensive. I think that if he wanted forgiveness, he should have said that when he was running the first time. He knew then he had done it. And now he's saying he did it more than once. I think that you can't have different rules for different people. I took the same position against the governor in Virginia who was Democrat. I think what Trudeau has done has been disingenuous.
Hello everyone, let's talk about blackface.
Mommy, the sun shines east, the sun shines west. I know where the sun shines best.
Blackface is a kind of makeup, for example burnt cork or grease paint, which is used to make someone look like a black person. So the question for this video is blackface racist? Well, first we have to define that word. Racism is prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism directed against someone of a different race based on the belief that one's own race is superior.
Blackface.
Blackface. America is not new to scandals about blackface.
Blackface minstrelsy had tremendous power, and the whole idea of objectifying a person and taking away their humanity and reducing them to stereotypes and images and making fun of them is a painful experience for those people who are the subject of this kind of treatment.
I'm coming. Oh, God, I hope I'm not late.
There was a controversy on The Real Housewives of New York with Luann, as she dressed as Diana Ross, and she made her skin look darker than it really is, and people said that that was racist. And I don't know, I thought, like, who doesn't love Diana Ross?
I think it's going to take some time to move past it. These are just isolated instances that we know on a wide public scale. This history and the prevalence of this history is widespread, and I think this is the perfect opportunity to engage in those dialogues that use blackface minstrelsy as an example of how race has functioned in this society and how it continues to curtail us for really treating each other fairly and responsibly and championing equality for all.
I take responsibility for my decision to do that. I shouldn't have done it. I should have known better. It was something that I didn't think was racist at the time, but now I recognize it was something racist to do, and I am deeply sorry.
A Pennsylvania college has suspended 2 of its students for what the college's president called a hurtful, offensive act. In a series of racially insensitive videos posted on Snapchat, a female student from Albright College appears to be wearing a mud mask, but flaunts it in a disparaging manner as blackface makeup. In one of the videos, she calls herself Carlisha. Her name is not Carlisha. Filmed by another female student, the 2 girls are heard laughing hysterically throughout the demeaning videos. The student portraying a black person then proceeds to mock Black Lives Matter, saying, "Black Lives Matter now, okay? F white people." She closes her comedic interpretation by stuffing the back of her pants and twerking to hip-hop music. According to officials, multiple students of multiple races were involved. In a statement issued by the college, the 2 girls directly involved expressed deep remorse and voluntarily came forward to report their actions. They were ordered to leave campus immediately. Their future at Albright College is under review pending further investigation into the incident. In his condemnation of the girls' actions, Albright's president added that we hope to use this as a learning opportunity to continue educating all members of the campus community. This is not the first time college students have been reprimanded for similar acts of racism on social media. 2 Kansas State University students were expelled for blackface last month.
Virginia politics into a crisis. So just where did blackface come from, and why, after nearly 200 years, is this still an issue? John Avalon has your reality check.
Look, I get that William Faulkner warned us that the past is never dead. It's not even past. But why in the world are we still bedeviled by something as stupid and cruel as blackface in 2019? In the past, we've seen Virginia Governor Ralph Northam resisting basically universal calls for his resignation after his medical school yearbook page was discovered showing someone in blackface next to a guy dressed as a member of the KKK. Then, in one of the worst press conferences in modern political history, the governor said he'd won a dance contest as Michael Jackson after applying shoe polish to his face. Not only that, this week, Virginia's Democratic AG Mark Herring copped to wearing blackface at a college party in 1980 while trying to apparently look like Curtis Blow. And then we found out that Virginia's Republican Senate Majority Leader Tom Norman edited 1968 Virginia Military Institute yearbook loaded with blackface, Confederate flags, and other racist tropes. It's been a big few months for belated blackface awareness. After all, Megyn Kelly torched her NBC gig after a cringeworthy conversation in which she couldn't quite get why blackface was bad. And just yesterday, Gucci was forced to pull a $900 sweater off the shelves because, well, just look at it. So let's do a Racism 101 reality check on blackface. You know the phrase Jim Crow? It was a common term for segregation laws that tried to roll back the results of the Civil War and resist civil rights for almost a century. But you might not know that Jim Crow was the name of a popular minstrel act in the 1800s, which was performed in blackface. And that's just an indication of the foundational pain, the institutional racism that's beneath what some people apparently think is a party trick. In these past few days, a clip from the Spike Lee film Bamboozled has been circulating online, and it shows some of the legacy of blackface in American culture, from the KKK celebrating the birth of a nation to black and white comedies, cartoon icons, and even musicals starring celebrities like Judy Garland and Bing Crosby. This was a reflection of the segregated times they lived in and the culture they inherited. But even with generous discounts for youthful idiocy, there's really no excuse for perpetuating blackface in 1984. What we're seeing now is how much the scars of our history persist, often perpetuating hate under the more comforting labels of heritage.
Now to that new trouble for Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. A picture of him wearing dark makeup, dressed as Aladdin at a party in 2001. Trudeau himself now calling it racist and apologizing. Terry Moran has more on all this for us. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning, Robin. Well, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is a proud progressive. He's emphasized inclusiveness and tolerance as Prime Minister of Canada, but now he's just the latest politician caught up in an episode from years ago where he darkened his skin for fun, blackface, and he's in a tight election.
The controversy erupted overnight, forcing Justin Trudeau to speak out and try to explain taking questions on board his campaign plane.
In 2001, when I was a teacher out in Vancouver, I attended an end-of-year gala where the theme was Arabian Nights. And I dressed up in an Aladdin costume and put makeup on. I shouldn't have done that. I should have known better, but I didn't. And I'm really sorry.
It was Time magazine that uncovered the 18-year-old photo from a yearbook at West Point Grey Academy in Vancouver, where Trudeau was teaching when he was 29 years old.
I take responsibility for my decision to do that. I shouldn't have done it. I should have known better. It was something that I didn't think was racist at the time, but now I recognize it was something racist to do.
It got worse. Answering a question last night, Trudeau admitted to wearing blackface while in high school while performing Day-O, a Jamaican folk song. But he insists he's fought against racism and intolerance his entire life. And just this morning, a video purporting to show Trudeau in blackface yet again, when and where unclear, but Canada's Global News reporting it's him.
I take responsibility for my decision to do that. I shouldn't have done it. I should have known better.
Moments ago, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau publicly apologizing for a series of racist photos and a video showing him wearing dark face makeup. That video shows Trudeau in the early 90s. It was obtained by CNN partner Global News. A reporter received the video from a source within Canada's Conservative Party. Now, Trudeau, of course, is part of the Liberal Party. National elections just weeks away. The photo that ignited all of this is this one you see here, taken in 2001. That was published by Time magazine. This is from a yearbook at the school where Trudeau was teaching at the time. He was dressed as Aladdin at an Arabian Nights themed party at that private school where he was a teacher. The other that has surfaced, a high school yearbook photo. This was obtained by CNN partner CTV, which shows Trudeau portraying African-American civil rights activist and actor Harry Belafonte in a school play. Today, Trudeau saying he realizes he has deeply hurt people.
I recognize that it is something absolutely unacceptable to do. And yeah, I appreciate calling it makeup, but it was blackface. And that is just not right. It is something that people who live with the kind of discrimination that far too many people do because of the color of their skin, or their history, or their origins, or their language, or their religion, face on a regular basis. And I didn't see that from the layers of privilege that I have.